Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first week of Love Life Drawing. This is the seventh day of this Figuary drawing event, and there wasn't much taught in Love Life Drawing as the theme. The people at Love Life Drawing basically took different people's sketches and gave very useful critique. So I very much recommend anyone following this event to, of course, go watch the videos. And if you are sort of enjoying and liking this theme that I'm trying to go for, which is to make a journal and self-critique my own sketches after uh, doing the sketches at CroquisCafe, then be sure to subscribe. And so, in today's theme, I think I would just be combining all the previous lessons into one and trying to critique the sketches that I have done so far. And so, without further ado, let's look at the first drawing. Now, first off, we are able to quite clearly see with based on the lesson at, let's say, Wilder Stories, where they taught us about seeing more angles. So there's this standard sort of straight pose that we are familiar with, and with seeing the rotation and twist and squashy middle. One side of the body is much wider than the other, and there's no twist in this figure, but more of the squashy middle. But with the Wilder Stories, we can see her hands going from one side over to the other, down here, and maybe even with the leg turning back again. So it's just a lot of twists and turns all the way down, while there's a very sort of controlled smooth line on the other side. So we have a dynamic pose on the left side, and then we have a sort of smooth line once again on the right side. As Love Life Drawing has said many times with us and people still learning, we like to keep things a little bit straight. And so I really did not exaggerate, like, let's say, the legs as much as I might have or should have done. And let me try something. Nope, that is not what I intend to do. Let's try to move the pose over here and see what lines we get. So it's just shifting the lines alone. I kind of sort of followed the lines of the arms kind of okay, but when it came to the legs, I feel like there could be more movement for it to insinuate that direction. But I keep the right side as smooth, and I think this is an overall sort of strong drawing compared to previous days. But let's see the other poses and compare those later. Now here we have more of the twist as her body seems to be moving forward. So we have like the torso going down and then it twists all the way here. So it's almost like a twisting 90 degrees ish from one side to the other. And we have a fairly stable pose, so not much Wilder Stories here. And I don't, now that I see this figure eight, I didn't really see it the first time. I just tried to focus on the arms as it just comes up here and this torso. but this is kind of flat when it's sort of pointing upwards per se. This is actually pointing down. Now that I see it a little bit more clearly, it's a little bit more complicated. Kind of missed where the feet are. They should be more together. I gave her giant calves, which she shouldn't have at all. Make her slimmer. She's a very slim person. And the head angle isn't very accurate to my liking. She's facing the camera a little bit more than I've drawn it as if it's a side view angle. Let's move on to the next one. Here I quite like a little bit more, and all because here I like a little bit more, all because I started off with the cloth or the shape of the cloth as to map out where the body might be. So I drew the cloth area where it would be, and then start from the top working down that her hand is coming down here, and we could sort of see her hands coming down here over to the other side and moving to hold the other part of this cloth. We have one side of her leg sort of a little bit bending forward and then back. I try to give this sort of smooth curve over like a S shape basically, or not S shape, sorry, just this curve, while the other side of her leg is just straightforward smooth down. So I think this came out fairly well compared to previous poses, and I quite like this a bit more in comparison. Moving along to this, lots of bending and squashing, finding the angles where we have quite the back bending. And even though it's not bending too much, in figure I would say maybe I should try to bend a little bit more, exaggerate this very large sort of curve we have going on here. Fortunately, after I see this, the leg doesn't, it's not that accurate. Didn't give enough space for the bone and this side of the leg, even though I tried to use sort of construction lines to sort of quickly give single lines to gesture out the poses, but when it came to give it volume, I kind of failed on that front. But I'm quite happy how the arms sort of turned out, as if she's really stretching those arms outwards, holding on to this chair. Sadly, with the face, she's obviously looking down, but I sort of missed the angle and let her sort of look facing sort of horizontally. But that's not too great. So I would need to work on the angles of the legs once again, but I quite like how the arms turned out. On to the next pose. And here, sadly, the arms didn't turn out as great as I wanted. Seems a little bit short in comparison, but I kind of liked how the legs turned out this time, if not exaggerated enough. But this arm obviously needs to be a little bit longer. It's not this short, and as we can see, her arms isn't at where I placed it at the knee. It's a little bit deeper in middle of her leg. We have quite a lot of wild stories here, where one arm is turned here and then follows through down to the other arm, or since she's looking downwards, we have this sort of curve along with the other leg curved down here. So there's many ways to interpret this pose. Not much twisting, even though her waist here is twisting, so that the legs can go to the right direction. But I think the more important pose in this case are the arm and front facing leg. Now on to the final pose. She's sitting like a badass over here. Though this, I don't know why, kind of reminds me of Michael Jackson. Obviously, maybe I'm just seeing things. At first I thought these sort of curved were sort of very confident, but obviously this leg is curving the other direction. And only then is the other part, the lower part of the leg curves the other way. So then the next time I would need to allow this leg to curve forward first, and then allow it to curve outward again. This bottom leg is not as long as it must be. It should be slightly longer. I kind of like the sort of feeling with the arms, though this shoulder is a little bit too large, like a bodybuilder at this point, not that slim. And here we have a little bit of squashy middle and thing like the rotational twist, where the waist is down here, but then as we move forward up the body, we can now, there's sort of this larger surface area on one side compared to the other being slightly less, and getting lesser and lesser when we go lower down the body. I still think I could sort of show that a little bit more. I don't think I'm able to sort of also show this curve down here on the back side as well as I should have. Just concentrated on sort of the furniture, thinking that it's all cutting, when let's focus more on like the actual curve of the back and the body. As for the face angle, it still seems to be sort of looking down. Here I drew the face sort of looking straight once again. Have to angle the face a little bit better next time. So that's all I have to say for today's Figuary journal. Hope you enjoyed. And if there's something that I miss, I will always appreciate it in the comment section. And I hope to see you all next time. Good night.